Alright, so I'm wanting to take a look today with the Simplifier MK2 running the Boss DS-1 Distortion. I've done a few videos so far with the Simplifier, but I've wanted to get into some of the gain and drive options. I'm starting here because this was my very first distortion that I got years ago, and thought that I would try to use it with this. It's kind of a misunderstood pedal. I think I didn't really fully understand it when I was first starting to play guitar, and hadn't tried it compared to some of the other ones. So I wanted to try this out. I'm using my Telecaster guitar right now for this, kind of a cleaner sound. I'm also on the Fender setting here and got the both the preamp gain and the post gain kind of set midway there. So I guess I could change the speakers here too. Get somewhat of a difference there on it. Let's put it to those 212s. And now let's try the distortion. So right away I can tell the volume is not quite the same. I want a little bit more gain on that, a little bit more volume. There we go. Alright, and then with this pedal, if you turn the, what do we have there, the tone up too much, it's not really my favorite. Just my volume there on that. Not really my favorite tone there, so let's try to keep it somewhere between 9 o'clock and 10, maybe not even 11 there. Nice, good warm distortion. As far as the distortion goes too, I'm trying not to put it too much above this 3 o'clock position there. If I go up above, that noise really kind of bumps up there. You could remedy this just by turning it off whenever you're not using it, but I like to try to find that balance point right there. So let's put it right about there too. And the DS1 can make a big difference what kind of amp it's actually plugged into. So right now it's kind of plugged into a Fender style. That's what I had when I was first starting out with it. But let's hear it through a Marshall. So preamp to Marshall, post-amp to Marshall. So it's still got a good bit of distortion, but it's not really like blowing us away or anything like that. Let's bring the volume down a little bit on the simplifier so that we can bring up the preamp drive. Right. I got that. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a lot. Kind of got that squashy drive kind of sound there. Someone else in a comment on another video had mentioned maybe the power amp section being more important too there. So let's just see the difference there. So preamp is kind of lower there. Push it a little bit more, but the power amp is pretty good. With that on it. So, again, it's a usable sound there. That's just typically not what I'm trying to go for there. So, a little different. Let's hear it on the Vox real quick before we change anything up. So, right away, big difference there. Let's give it a little bit more let's bring the distortion down on this to kind of balance. A lot of bass, even though that's already kind of low. Let's see if we can balance. I'm going to switch off of the neck pickup too. Back to the bridge. That made a big difference, just going to the bridge pickup on my telly. Kind of interesting there. Let's maybe see what happens if I put the distortion through the loop on this pedal and see what that's like. Alright, so now I've got it hooked up a little bit different. So still running the Telecaster into this deal. I'm going to switch it back to the Fender. And so right now I'm running right into the simplifier, then coming out of the effect send into the input of the distortion, and then coming back into this. So putting the distortion in a completely different part of the circuit. So it's getting the tone stack first and everything before that. So that's my sound. Without, let's see what changes. I'm going to bring the volume down to start, or the level. Okay. Interesting. See, I'm feeling like I like this a little bit better, to be honest. Let's see. And you could really use the volume as a, to really boost. See, before, when it was just plugged straight in, it really felt like it was like hitting a maximum volume there, where it was like it was still getting pushed, but wasn't really getting any louder. But I feel like the volume knob at this point, or the level at this point in the signal chain, is making more of a difference. So this could actually be an option for pushing for solos or something. Just to be an option for you there. So very interesting. Let's flip it to the Marshall real quick. So I know, Kurt Cobain in Nirvana was using a Fender, not a Telecaster. But let's just see, with that DS-1 Marshall sound. I mean, it's close. It's not something I'm really going to be using, but switch those speakers to Marshalls too. I should say the greenbacks. Cool difference. Back over to the black. Let's do that. Let's pull the drive down a little bit on this. Tame the tone just a little bit too. Very interesting. I might go ahead and just wrap this one up just to keep it from going too crazy long or anything, but I'll continue doing some stuff like this, and I even had an idea to showcase how we can help try to manipulate the sound on this just a little bit more.